You are listening to Let's Talk Trio on podcasts. Keep up with the latest episodes by downloading the Podbean app or stream episodes via our social media accounts. Search for Let's Talk Trio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This episode is sponsored by Student Access. Student Access, the leader in Trio software. Student Access is an online database solution that allows Trio programs to track their students' information, connect with students by text messages, streamline the APR, and work from anywhere, all online, with automatic updates for changes from the Department of Education. Their technical support team includes former Trio staff and has over 50 years of combined experience working with Trio. Make it easier to focus on your priority, the students. For more information and to request a free demo, visit their website at www.studentaccess.com or call them toll-free at 1-800-801-1232. That website again is www.studentaccess.com or 1-800-801-1232. Be sure to share your favorite episodes on your social media by tapping that share button. This is a great way to support the podcast. Now here's your host, Juan Rivas.
Thank you, Amelia, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, listener, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Trio. I am your host, Juan Rivas. In today's episode, we have Cindy Gerhardt, who is an alum of the Trio Student Support Services program at Central New Mexico Community College. Cindy is a non-traditional student who is on the podcast to discuss her life experience and what led her to go back to college. So coming up in just a bit, Cindy Gerhardt. A huge thanks to our sponsors, Angelica Villalpando, Rosario O'Reilly, Angelica Valdez, Felicia Rivera, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jamie Motley, Jaded Electronics, TrioJoblist.com, NOSOTROS Education Center, and Student Access. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can be a sponsor of the podcast. Head on over to Patreon and search for Let's Talk Trio. Choose one of 4 patron levels. You can support this podcast for as little as $1 a month. $1 a month goes a long way in supporting this podcast. If you own a business and would like to run an ad on our podcast, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast PayPal account. Our handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. Again, that handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. Any amount is truly appreciated. If you would like to nominate a participant, staff, or alumni to be on the podcast, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. Again, a great episode featuring Cindy Gerhardt with Central New Mexico Community College Trio Student Support Services Program. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, Trio Nation. Our guest spent 23 years working in the food and beverage industry and knew that clear communication made all the difference with clients and coworkers. She is an alum of the Trio Student Support Services program at Central New Mexico Community College. In her free time, our guest likes to play golf and getting her steps in with walking. Welcome to the podcast, Cindy Gerhardt. Cindy, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Good, nice to be here.
It is so nice to meet you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on this podcast. I'm excited to talk about you and Trio and getting to know you a little bit.
Great.
How are things in New Mexico?
It's very hot here.
Very hot over there.
That's what everybody's talking about. It's really hot. Otherwise, it's nice. We haven't seen any rain or anything, but very hot.
Right on. So the summer is upon us. Any items on your summer list that you hope to accomplish?
Not really, not specifically. Since I finished school, I just kind of wanted to take it easy for a while. So other than that, just trying to take it easy. And when it gets really hot like this, you really kind of don't feel like doing much sometimes, you know?
I hear that.
You know
I
what I mean?
definitely hear that. Talk to us about your interests and hobbies. So you like to golf, you like to get your steps in, you like to walk. How did you develop an interest in that? And was it something that you always enjoyed, or did it kind of grow on you?
Well, golf grew on me because I started to work at a golf course and I didn't understand till I started work there. It's a subculture. It
Mm,
just has its own little world out there. So I started playing it. It's a nice game to play, and you can play from the time you're 3 until you're 90.
mhm.
So I like that. And just walking kind of grew on me. Exercise. Oh, mostly walking. And
Mostly walking.
now I've gotten to the point if I don't do it, I can't sleep at night, things like that.
I hear
You
you
get
on
so
that.
used to it. Mhm.
Yeah. Can you tell us what is a personal goal that you have for 2023? Is it something a goal that you've accomplished as of today versus a goal that you have not yet accomplished that you hope to do before the year is out?
Well, my main goal was to graduate, which, yay, I did. Yay.
Congratulations, by the
Um,
way. Yeah,
thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Other than that, I really didn't know. Like, I've been looking around for new jobs and I realized I don't have a resume. So
Mhm.
I'm going to a workshop CNM has on Wednesday to make myself one because I realized I wasn't going very far and I didn't really know how to make one properly.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm going to do. But hopefully by the end of the year, I've got it all where I'm going to go. And I plan on starting New Mexico State. I was going to start next month, but
Oh,
I've
wow.
decided to wait until January.
That's awesome.
So,
Um, so Cindy, we're going to rewind the clocks a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you're all about?
well, I'm a little older. I'm not a traditional student. And I just decided to go back to school as something different, something looked fun and exciting.
Mhm.
And it kind of snowballed from there. I thought I'd start at CNM and transfer after that. And it turned out really, really well. Uh, I can't say as I would have made it without Trio because being a non-traditional student, I went in not knowing anything about computers, like the younger people and everything. And it just turned into a really good experience and more of a social thing also.
All right.
So, um, anything else on that question that you
Oh, no,
wanted?
no, no, no.
Okay.
Was school something that you really enjoyed, as far as you growing up and your upbringing? Was that school something you always related to?
Not really, but
Mhm.
I not really, but when I graduated high school, I did want to go to college, but I wasn't able to because, well, I did start for about a semester, but I was married, had a baby, and it just
Oh, wow.
didn't work out.
Yeah.
So as the years went by, I kept telling myself, go back. And then I finally just did it.
Right on. Talk to us a little bit about yourself. How would your family describe you when you were young?
Brat. um, I'm kind of bratty, highly intelligent,
Highly intelligent, bratty, but
way
yeah.
too inquisitive, but not one to sit there quietly. Not for sure, not that.
So outspoken.
Yes, a little outspoken. Now that I've gotten older, I learned to keep your mouth shut in certain circumstances. But no, I always want to be doing something. I don't like to get bored, I always want to be doing something and maybe moving forward in my life, although it may not be working out. I'm still trying.
Or were there any subjects that you really gravitated toward, or subjects that you really, really spoke to you?
I like writing. I've always liked writing. And when I started CNM, I got into the really difficult composition classes
Hmm.
that other people struggled with. And I thought, this is great, and people thought I was an oddball, but I always liked writing
That's
to
amazing.
put your thoughts down on paper and then refine it until you're finally satisfied. But that's my favorite thing to do.
Do you have a favorite memory of you growing up or more recently?
Um, Not really. There's a lot of them.
Hmm.
There's a lot of them. I just really can't think of any at the moment. There wouldn't be one that stands out. There's just a lot of good ones.
Outside of school, did you have a lot of interests?
I did. I played a lot of sports when I was younger, and I liked, of course, like young people, like to hang around with my friends, play
Mhm.
softball, play baseball, things like that.
All right. Were those are the two sports that you really liked, or were there other sports that you also played with?
Oh, I also like volleyball.
Volleyball.
Play volleyball, yeah, that was one of my favorites. And way back, tetherball, kickball, things like that. But as you get a little older, you don't really play those too much anymore.
Now, you were talking about high school earlier. You felt like you were very top of your class, very intelligent. Talk to us about your high school experience. What was that like for you?
It was good. I went to high school here in New Mexico, Del Norte, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the one thing that I would have done different is to broaden my horizons in high school a little more,
Hmm.
take some more foreign languages and, be involved in a few more high school activities, like a few more clubs or whatever. I would do that different.
Hmm.
Overall, it was a good experience. And back when I went, we went for 4 years.
Hmm.
We went 9, 10, 11, 12. Or I'm sorry, we went for 3, 10, 11, 12.
Hmm.
And the year after I left high school, they started 4 years. So we only had 3 years of kids in there. So it was a smaller setting, even though we were in a bigger type city. But it was fun. It was
All
fun.
right. Yeah. You were talking a little bit about your extracurriculars, things that you wish you were a little bit more involved with. Were there things that you were already involved with in high school that you really enjoyed? I heard you say volleyball, baseball, that those things were you would like to do and you played with.
Yes.
Were there other things?
Um, Not really, just nothing organized, just like to hang around with my friends a lot. We like to get a car and go riding around. Nothing really organized, just usual teenager stuff. Go get hamburgers, go to the
Mm-hmm.
mall, go to the movies, things like that. Nothing organized, just the usual things.
Talk to us about your graduation. What was that like? And talk to us about your parents. How did they feel? Talk about
Okay.
you. How did you feel?
Well, like I said, I graduated from Del Norte, and it was a big accomplishment. And back in high school, we had senior week, we had senior ditch day, all those things. And I got to buy, as a matter of fact, we were talking about it this weekend, my class ring, my yearbook.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun part of your cap and gown. That's a fun part of graduating high school. But back now, I notice nowadays they pay a lot more attention. Back then, it was kind of like everybody sort of, hey, good job, see you later. There was any big parties or any big celebrations. It was kind of maybe expected of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot different now, I noticed.
When you graduated from high school or right before, was the thought of going to college something that you entertained or something that you were like really thinking about?
I did. I really wanted to go, but you know, you put it off for a year or two and you found yourself in a different situation. Like, I was really dumb. I'm a poster child for not getting married too young. I got married right out of high school and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
So the only alternative is to take another life path for a while
Mm-hmm.
because you have to get a job, support yourself, that sort of thing. But
Absolutely.
no, I'd always wanted to. And I did start one semester,
Mm-hmm.
but having to, like I said, marriage broke apart, having to support myself, college kind of fell by the wayside because I did go to UNM for a semester or two,
I was just
but it
about to ask. Yeah.
finally stop there and pursue work full time. And now that I look back, I should have done anything to stay in, but you don't know that back then.
Absolutely. So you're talking about work as you graduated, got married, said
Uh-huh.
sounds like a separation or a divorce in the middle of all that. You figured it wasn't working out.
Right,
You went to UNM for a semester.
right.
So what did you do in the time where after graduation you had to find a way to support yourself? How did you support yourself?
I back in those days, you just looked at the newspaper and I found a job listing for a men's store here in town.
Mm-hmm.
for a gal that worked in the office, and they gave me the job, and I worked there about 6 years. So it was just, I wouldn't, it was a learning experience. It was way to make a living. It wasn't really, I learned a lot anyway. So,
Mhm.
but it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. And I still always wanted to go to school in the back of my, or go back to school in the back of my mind. But you know how things start to slip away from you, and, you put it farther and farther back behind.
Mhm.
But eventually I did, I decided to go to CNM because I thought if I go back into UNM, it might be a little too hard for me.
Mhm.
That's why I went to CNM, but CNM turned out perfect. And I don't know if I mentioned Montoya campus is right by where I live, and that's another thing that fueled my decision.
Mhm.
Because you could walk from the bike trail from my house up to CNM Montoya campus, and I thought, hey, that works out.
Yeah.
I don't even need a car.
That's awesome. So at the very top of the podcast, we talked about you being in the service industry. So you worked there at the men's clothing 6 years, and then you transitioned. Sounds like you went somewhere else too.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
I was friends with a gentleman that ran a golf course,
Uh-huh.
and he said, come to work for me in food and beverage. I said, I don't know how to do that. I've never done that.
Mhm.
He says, well, you're pretty smart. You can learn. And I said, well, okay, let's give it a try. And as in the very beginning, can't say as I was crazy about it, but I was actually good at it. And I could, I learned to communicate. Now, it's not something usually you're born with. I learned to communicate with people,
Mhm.
maybe make someone's day a little better. And
Mhm.
like I said, it's learned, and it doesn't work on everyone. But and I like the challenge because we were mostly tip based, how much tips you could bring home. That was
Mhm.
always a good challenge that I like to tackle. And it just was just meeting all kinds of different people all day long. And it's not for everyone, like I said, but for me, it was a good fit.
Right on. And you did that for 23 years or
Yes.
yeah, wow.
Yes.
What kept you in the industry for so long?
Mainly, like I worked at one place 19 years, and you get regular customers at a golf course, same people come and going, the it ebbs and flows, but you'd have the same people, and they became more like friends more than customers. And like I said, part of the job is learning. They have kids, they have a dog, they
Mhm.
have a wife, and you ask them about that stuff, and you should see their face light up when you're really genuinely concerned. And I realize you can make someone's day just by asking them a personal question, and they're like, you remember that? I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, and then it just turned in from like customer to personal relationships in that type of work atmosphere.
Sounds like
Friends.
you've really developed a way to make connections with your clients, with the people that you were served, and your communication skills. Like you said, you were just fascinated in the way you talk to people, because as you said, it could brighten somebody's day. What did you enjoy most about the industry?
I liked that people were there in the industry because they wanted to be there. It wasn't like, if you have to go to work and you don't feel like going to work,
Mhm.
you have to deal with people. But people who were there chose to be there, wanted to be there playing golf. So that was the difference. And you just learned to, talk within the subculture, like, what they were saying, to understand it. um, to understand what's going on in the sports world. I found that was important. And I just really found out that I really love people, even the annoying ones. There's something to love about them. And just as everybody you see, somebody loves them. They may be
Mhm.
having a bad day and you may have the brunt of it, but move on, you know.
Absolutely.
And
What was
like
the
I said,
most? Yeah.
go ahead. You could just brighten someone's day by saying, I like your hat. It just was something that I like to do.
Right on. What was the most challenging aspect of this industry? What was like hard, difficult, or sometimes challenging?
The hardest part was the weather because I worked outside. That meant
Mm.
hot in the summer, cold in the winter. like I said, again, the harsh conditions, sometimes long days, like very, very rarely annoying customers, but there were some, but very rare. But
Mhm.
usually the working conditions and stuff could get pretty hard. Like you work 10, 12 hours in 100-degree heat,
Mhm.
it starts to wear on you after a while. But then again, on the other hand, you get used to it. So a lot of people trained for my job and the other girl's job, and they didn't make it because they couldn't take it. So anyway, that's the hardest part, environmental,
Okay.
if you will.
At what point did college become part of your radar, or became something that you wanted to do during your 23 years of service?
Well, I always wanted to, and I just figured I couldn't afford it. I had to work full time. How was I going to do this? And then again, I just went and I thought, I really want to start again.
Mhm.
And again, Montoya campus was right up the street from my house, and it's a beautiful campus. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I think I've been once.
Yeah, it's really beautiful and
Beautiful.
right up the
Yeah.
street from where I live. And I thought, well, maybe I could start here. It's no parking hassles, no. And I knew nothing, by the way. So I went up there and said, hey, can I start college here? Can I start school here? And they said, sure. And they help you along every step of the way. That was very helpful. Very helpful.
Wonderful. So after spending time in the service industry, who or what helped you make the transition to go back to college?
COVID had a lot to do
COVID.
with it. Yeah, it did. I working in the service industry, they shut us down.
Yeah, heavily
We
impacted.
we stayed shut down we shut down in March
Mhm.
at the country club I was working at, and they tried to bring us back the end of August,
Uh-huh.
but for circumstances, I don't know, in New Mexico, it was open up, shut down, open up, shut down.
Mhm.
And working in the service industry in a golf course can be very seasonal. So you're
Certainly.
gangbusters in the nice weather and slow in the colder weather.
Mhm.
And that's what really threw a monkey wrench into everything is COVID. So I had a lot of time on my hands suddenly. I had started school before COVID, but COVID just kind of opened the door a little better and more. So I don't know if some people's work didn't shut down, but mine shut down tight and didn't open for 5 months. And then we tried and
Ah,
tried
yeah.
and couldn't get anything going for a long time.
Hey there. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
Are you seeking guidance to enhance your TRIO project's effectiveness and success? Look no further. Nosotros Education Center, NEC, is here to empower your TRIO project with expert consulting services. NEC's mission is to promote the effectiveness and impact of TRIO programs. Since 2003, NEC has specialized in providing professional development and in-service staff trainings, allowable cost services, for TRIO projects across the country. The team at NEC, with over 60 years of combined TRIO experience, offers customized workshops and seminars for project staff, compliance assessments, external evaluations, working on and submitting APRs, database customization and training, development of policies and procedures manuals, and project implementation or reorganization services. Additionally, NEC has secured over $774 million in federal funding with a 92% success rate through their live and on-demand proposal workshops, assistance with data collection and review, detailed technical reviews, and comprehensive proposal development services. Join the hundreds of colleges, agencies, and TRIO projects across the country who benefited from NEC's expertise. Nosotros Education Center, your partner in TRIO's project success. Visit their website at nosotros.edu.org. Again, that's nosotrosedu.org.
And now, back to the podcast.
So COVID was the catalyst to push you into school. Was that a very difficult process to get back into school and to really push yourself to enroll in courses and learn new material, as it were?
It was, and then the fear of looking stupid or acting stupid. You didn't know what you were doing because I'm a non-traditional older student. The younger ones pick up computers and do everything all easily, and I'm like hunt and peck, you know. And um well, once I got past the initial registering and picking classes and stuff, and I can't say as I was bound and determined to finish, but as time went on, that became the goal is, let's just bring this home, let's finish it. And it took me a little longer than normal because sometimes I didn't only took 2 classes and stuff because of work, 2 and 3 classes, but did bring it home, did finish.
That's amazing. So as you started, did you know what major you wanted to be in or what program you wanted to pursue?
No, it was kind of funny because when I signed up and did the intake testing, they said you need to declare a major. And I kept reading through the list and I said, well, I don't know. And I picked communications, and that's where I stayed. That's turned out to be a good fit, but I kind of randomly picked it in the beginning.
Wow. So it was kind of by chance.
Right. Now, of course, I could have changed it as time went on, but I
Certainly.
didn't. I thought, oh, this is perfect. So it was totally random, but turned out great.
So talk to us about your experience at Central New Mexico Community College. How did you know that this was the college campus for you? At what point did you say, I feel at home, this is comfortable, this is good?
Well, again, it was close to my house. I could either easily drive there or walk there. And I took in-person classes the first semester. And then the second semester, I started in person. That's when COVID shut everything down. I was in the middle of my second semester, and we went to all online. And that was a little scary for me because I didn't know how to take a class online. When we were halfway through that class when they shut the school down in person. So I had to learn how to do online, and I just continued doing that. Not for any particular reason. I didn't want to go or anything. It just worked out for me. And just Montoya was close. It was a beautiful campus. People were friendly. It wasn't a hassle to get there and park and everything. And at that time, they had a nice little cafeteria, nice study areas. It just was a good place to hang out.
Was it an overwhelming feeling going back to college?
Not really, no. Once in a while, I think, and I look back now, I didn't want to look stupid or like I didn't know what I was doing, but everybody does that sometimes. And I don't fault anybody for asking what I think is a dumb question because we've all done it. So I would tell everyone who's trying, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too.
That is great words of encouragement. How or when did you find out about the TRIO Student Support Services program?
When I started in CNM, they kept telling me because I should see if I qualify because I was a non-traditional student. And I can't remember the other reasons they singled me out. They were just recruiting, if you will. And so they kept asking me, and it's funny, I finally went over there and went, okay, I'll go see them. Okay. Stop bugging me. That's what happened. And I went, and I went to see the head lady, the Magda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she did all my papers and everything. She said, you've joined, and they have their own area over there. And, you get your own private computers, your own private tutors, stuff like that. And people have fun, and it's like roped off. If you're not in TRIO, you can't come in there. And I wouldn't say I went over there a lot until maybe like my maybe halfway. When I reached my halfway point and beyond, I found out what a great place it was and how fun the people were. And then I started to be a pretty much daily fixture there.
No, that's great. So
of course, after COVID,
yeah. Magda. I'm sure
yes.
Rob Carriaga is still out there.
No, not that I recall. No.
Oh, okay.
The Jimmy is still there.
Oh, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah. Amber, she's there. Magda. Just those are the people that actually work there. There's 3 of them that I that I remember. But no, they're great people. They're lots of fun.
Amazing. So out of all the things that Trio Student Support Services offered, what drew you in the most? What did you like most about the program?
The personal attention, the personal concern. I wasn't a number, I was a person. And they had a little hidden resources they could draw on, that otherwise, if you just walked into a major university campus advisor, you're a number. And they just had a lot more personal attention and ideas and, oh, do this and don't do that, and things you wouldn't have known otherwise.
When you joined the Trio program, in what ways did Trio support you? Think about times like where you were like, oh, I got an exam coming up, or was it computer stuff? Yeah, what ways did Trio support you?
It was a lot of computer stuff because they had the little computer area there, and I could go there and you could say, hey, can someone help me? And they all fall all over themselves to run over and help you.
Oh,
It was really nice, and
yeah.
hey, does anybody know how to work Word? Oh, I do, very personal, if you will. And if you were sitting in a library or something, everybody go, be quiet. It was just like a little group, a little family. It just, like I said, the first part of my CNM time, I didn't pay much attention to them, but once I finally hunkered down and discovered they were there, I was hooked.
Absolutely.
And I just went there today, as a matter of fact, because I'm taking a summer class, and just a summer class that will transfer to New Mexico State, and I was there today, so it was great. It's great.
Next time you're up there, please let Magda know that Juan says hi.
I will. I just saw her today too, as a matter of fact.
Talk to us a little bit more about your time in Trio. What was your favorite memory? Is there something that really stuck out with you that you really like? You know what? I remember this one moment in time that really sticks with me.
But you know what I liked about Trio too, and I avoided them till I finally broke down. They would have the lunches and awards ceremonies, and I never paid much attention till I finally went to one, and they are so much fun. And just right before graduation, CNM Montoya has the park there to the north of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a picnic over there with games and food and everything. That was one of my favorite things. And just when they had their parties and get-togethers, it just was really nice. You get to meet other people and eat.
So, of course, the food.
Yeah, the food. So, but no, the parties and the get-togethers and the special events, they were great.
So you recently graduated with your degree in communications. What do you hope to do with that degree?
I don't know yet. I'm like I said, I'm going to build a resume on Wednesday. I found out I couldn't get very far without a resume, and I didn't feel that maybe I needed some professional help instead of just doing it on the internet. So at main campus, they're having a workshop, which I'm going to Wednesday. So, but I really don't know. I'm just going to see what opportunities present themselves and what I can do.
Absolutely. Cindy, I'm going to just rewind just a little bit. Talk to us about the moment you graduated with your communications degree. What did that mean for you, and what emotions were going through you as you graduated?
Well, at first you think, oh, big deal. But after you start to think about it and people start fussing over you, you're like, yes, it really is a big deal.
It really is, yeah.
A lot of people don't make it. And I encourage you, keep trying, make it. Even if you stopped and you have to go back, make it.
Absolutely.
And as graduation approached, Trio folks, of course, made sure I had all the credits I needed and everything I needed, and I was passing. Well, of course, I was going to pass everything and that sort of thing. And then Trio had their own graduation ceremony, and that was really nice. I got to invite my family and friends, and they had food and cake and a candlelit service. That was really touching. I did not go to the big CNM graduation, but I did go to the Trio graduation, and it was worth it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Cindy, are there any mentors, teachers, or advisors you would like to recognize on this podcast?
The ones that Jimmy Sanchez, who helped me with my classes, Amber, and I'm sorry, I believe her last name's Lucero. I'm not positive, and forgive me, Amber, I can't remember your last name. I think it is Lucero. She helped me with just things I couldn't figure out on the computer. I call her the boss, and I said,
The
"Boss,
boss.
come help me here." She just so sharp. Magda for always encouraging everyone and remembering everyone's name. Two tutors, Jamie, who tutors math, and then Cristal, who tutors Spanish, and then just the girls and guys that work at the desk, the work study people. They're great. They're really great. Just like I said, you walk in, it's almost like Cheers. Remember the show, The Bar? You walk in, Cindy, Magda, Juan.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So as you know, TRIO is a network of various programs that exist from coast to coast. If you wanted to share something with every single TRIO professional that works in a TRIO program, what would you say to them?
I would say thank you for recognizing me as an individual, not a number, and not thinking because I didn't understand or I was upset about something, thinking I was a dork or blowing me off, taking me seriously, and helping me the things that I just didn't know about because you have the intelligence and the information I don't. It just worked out just really, really perfectly.
Wonderful.
I would encourage anyone. And like I said, the first half of my CNM career, I didn't go over there. And I don't know why I started going over there and discovered you've been missing this the whole time.
Word to the wise, don't miss out on your TRIO experience.
Exactly.
So speaking of advice, what advice would you give to TRIO students at the pre-college or college level, or even non-traditional students who are thinking about going back to college?
Go do it. You probably fall on your face a few times, but just get back up and go more. Just keep trying, get someone to help you. It's well worth it in the end, and it may seem overwhelming, but you can come through on the other side just like I did.
Wonderful.
And I graduated with honors and all that stuff, and if I can do that, anybody can do that. But I mean, it's easier. Let me put that way. It's easier than you think.
Right on. What is one word you would use to describe yourself?
Well, good sense of humor is not one word. Fun.
I like that one. I really like that one. Absolutely. The reason I asked my guests about what the one word, I'm using the word as their title of their podcast. So we'll be using fun for your podcast.
Okay, great.
What is something that you're currently watching, reading, or listening to?
You mean like
either TV, movies, books, or podcasts, or music?
I have satellite TV. I record and watch a lot of shows because I can't stand commercials. And
I don't think anybody does.
I know. One of the things that I'm currently really involved in is HD TV. I love watching that stuff.
Really? What do you like about it? What is it that really speaks to you?
Like Battle on the Beach and International House Hunters and House Hunters. It's just currently that's really what I like to watch. And I like a lot of spy shows and mystery shows, of course, but they're in reruns right now. And I'm not much for movies. I can't sit there that long, but I do like HD TV. Okay. And like I said, it has to have satellite to skip those commercials.
Another piece of advice from Cindy. Mm-hmm. Cindy, it has been a true pleasure to speak with you today about your TRIO journey and your educational journey as well. I would love to have you on again in the podcast.
Oh, that'd be great.
So we have a tradition on the Let's Talk TRIO podcast where we have the guests sign off. Do you care to do the honors?
I would. And thank you, Juan. It was a pleasure. Hi, this is Cindy Gerhardt, and I am an alumni of the TRIO Support Services program at Central New Mexico Community College. TRIO works, and it really does. I highly encourage everyone to check into it and use it. I really do.
Are you a participant, alum, or staff of a TRIO program? Do you want your program highlighted? You or your program could be featured in an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TRIO. Get a hold of us by going to our Facebook page or Instagram and send us a direct message. Search for Let's Talk TRIO. We want to get your story to the public.
That was our guest, Cindy Gerhardt, with Central New Mexico Community College's TRIO Student Support Services Program. Cindy, thank you so much for being on the podcast and for sharing your TRIO story. Remember, if you would like to be on the Let's Talk TRIO podcast or know a staff, advocate, or participant or alumni, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. Again, a huge thanks to our sponsors, Angelica Villalpando, Rosario Riley, Felicia Rivera, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Angelica Valdez, TrioJoblist.com, Jaded Electronics, NOSOTROS Education Center, and Student Access. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can be a sponsor of the Let's Talk TRIO podcast in one of three ways. Become a monthly patron on Patreon. Our base patron level starts at $1 a month. Become a corporate sponsor via Patreon by placing an ad on this podcast. For $100 a month, we will run your ad for every episode we publish in the sponsored month. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast PayPal account. Our handle is @LetsTalkTrio. That handle one more time is @LetsTalkTrio. I'd like to take a moment to thank our honorary members of the Let's Talk TRIO podcast: Roderick Chambers, Tony Ho, Scott Kendall, and Susan Cramp. The Let's Talk TRIO podcast team is John Russell, audio engineer, music producer and composer, and post-production editor. Amelia Castañeda, script supervisor, marketing manager, social media manager, and producer. Juan Rivas, executive producer and host. This episode was recorded Monday, July 10th, 2023. Remember to always practice your right to vote. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.